What is going on, everyone out there in their MNC Hoops world? We are so happy to be back with another episode of MNC Hoops, of course. Of course, to my right, and at least on my screen anyways, is CJ. Maybe it might be flipped. I don't know how this camera goes sometimes, but my co-host CJ up in New York. How we doing, CJ?
Yeah, I'm doing great, brother. It's a big week in the NBA, big week in basketball. It's crazy, Grateful to have a show. Come on and talk about it.
I've seen a lot of people have special shows or whatnot because of what went down, and my goodness, I was ready to go on any kind of conversation with that, but I couldn't actually, so just was ready to get into the talk about this, and hopefully some of you guys will, and of course gals, when I say that, I mean both, some of you people will get into their comments with this and let us know what you think about some of these trades that went on, but there's no point in waiting. Let's just go ahead and get into the main thing that went around in the NBA in a matter of really minutes, we'll say hours possibly, but then boom, it was done and everyone was in shock. But let's go ahead and bring in the topic of Lakers trade Luka to the Mavericks. From the Mavericks to the Lakers and Anthony Davis back. Sorry. Why would this happen? But you know what, CJ? Let's read your graphic that you got here. Let's see here. Of course, Shams, breaking news, Dallas Mavericks are trading Doncic and Kleber for Markieff Morris to the Lakers. For Anthony Davis and Max Christie and a 29 first-round pick. I read that bad. I apologize, guys. Of course, that was from ESPN, what he shared on that. So Dallas get Davis, Christie, and a first-round. Lakers get Luka, Maxey, Markieff. Actually, I think there's a couple more. There was also Danny Ainge was in this trade with the Jazz a little bit too. I think it went on. I don't remember that part of it, but what's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, Utah, they got a couple second-round picks in the deal as well. Actually, pretty funny too because they said that Danny Ainge didn't even know that he was a part of this trade, had any type of trade because. I mean, pretty much he probably would have leaked it. That's what it sounds like to me. Had he known about it, he would have leaked it. Pretty obvious. Yep. So, yeah, what's your thoughts?
What's my thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. Well, actually, I don't even want to say it because I know people may take it wrong. I understand Mavericks wanting Davis because that solidifies their big man of what they need. Of course, they traded for P.J. Washington last year. They got Gafford. They also got the rookie last year,
Lively the second, yep.
So don't really know unless you're just going to say, hey, we're upgrading here. Got it. But you didn't move any of those players either. So now you've got a front court with four guys that I just mentioned there. Obviously, Anthony Davis is going to be the main guy with that. But now you got Kyrie and Anthony Davis as your 1-2 people, which makes sense because you need a big and you need a guard. I get it. But giving up Luka in this deal, like we've talked so much about him being still young. He's been in the league, I think, for five or 8 years. I think it's 8 years, but he's 25. So, like, he's still young. Obviously, I can't compare him with LeBron at 40, but like, prime is 25 to 33, we'll say, in a span there. Yeah,
they say like 27 to 33 and 32.
Gotcha. So, like, that's another 6-7 years of him in his prime. So it don't make sense to me. But we're starting to hear a lot of stuff, back conversations, I guess, going on about how the front office didn't really appreciate how Luka handled himself on or off the court. The defense we always said was lacking, or at least the effort. We don't know. We're not in the locker room. We don't know what the conversation is. But there's stuff going on. I seen a video, CJ. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I think it was last year when they won the Western Finals. He had a beer in his hand with an interview or a camera was on him. One of the coaches just casually comes up, takes it from him, and walks off. And Luka's like, "Are you giving it back to me?" Like, no. And it almost makes you think. Some of this stuff where they having to really take things out of his hand to get him to follow along with what they wanted. And if so, okay, I can understand wanting to trade him, but it's still Luka. Like, my goodness. And for the Lakers, 3 years ago, like you traded for Anthony Davis to be your future with the Lakers because LeBron is 40 and he's, going to have to retire in probably 2 years or something. And Anthony Davis is a good guy to build with. So now you went for Luka and you got two ball dominant players that are going to make you win now. I don't know. I got to see what happens by the end of the deadline, what these teams got to keep on doing. But that's my thoughts. I can't believe Luka got traded. I can understand Anthony Davis getting traded for the fact that it's the Lakers and they're trying to do different things with that. But those are my thoughts. What about yours?
Such a shocking trade. I was actually I was with some friends. I was watching the Rumble, watching Benavidez versus Morel. It was like a Saturday with a lot of sports, combat sports, entertainment. So as soon as I get back to the house and like really like around the time, like I'm just chilling, relaxing, and I get the notification. I'm like, this what's going on? So I go to the tweet. It's crazy. And then I'm looking at other avenues, other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other like Mark Stein, obviously somebody I've seen. He was on ESPN years ago, when I was growing up. So I felt like he was always credible. So then I went to his page. It was crazy. Yeah. So it was definitely a shocking move. Still really don't know why. I mean, I know they brought up the conditioning. In a way, that's that could be an issue. That could be an issue because he is young, and I don't know how true that is because you look at the durability. He was able to be out there and play, but the defense could definitely improve. Even in the press conference today, he said that was something that he was improving on in the first 20 some odd games he was playing in this season. So hopefully, when he comes back, when he heals from that calf strain, we see a two-way Luka, because ultimately, when you talk about the greats in that Laker jersey, they play defense. Shaq, Magic, Kareem, Kobe. I mean, they all did that in order to be great. James Worthy, the legends. You think about all those jerseys that's up there. That's what they played on both ends. It wasn't even a question. That's why they're champions. So he's great offensively. We know the numbers. It's phenomenal. But people are going to be watching now. This is different eyes. Now you're playing with LeBron as well. It's double. Like, again, we've always said this on the show. It's Lakers they're their own narrative, and then you have LeBron. Obviously, that's when you're playing with LeBron at such a young age. It's gratitude. I mean, you look at Kyrie, was able to play with LeBron at a young age. You saw how successful he was. Them going to multiple finals appearances, then of course winning a championship. Different scenario. LeBron's at an older age, but Luka is a better player than what Kyrie was, and Kyrie was incredible, right? So that just goes to show you the type of level that Luka's been on pretty much since he got into the league. So the expectations is championships. He mentioned that as well in his press conference this afternoon, and that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't know the underlying relationship between Luka Doncic and Nico Harrison, Jason Kidd. For Nico Harrison to really not run it by Jason Kidd, it's kind of weird to me. If you're you're in a partnership, and that's what you preach, right? You preach team and communication and all these other type of things, and your summits, your group meetings with all these staff and everything. And then you make a move like that, and you're not even communicating with the head coach, the guy who's formulating the plays and scheming things up for the players that they have on the roster. This is a champion. This is one of the greatest basketball players of all time as well. You also have to consider that. So he's still got the keys. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to talk to anybody. It's still he has the green light, and I'm sure he ran it by ownership because you have to. That's your boss. It's going to be wild. Mavs fans, they're upset, obviously. It's just, it's something that you don't expect. And I feel like there was always kind of an underlying situation where the Lakers, they did it, to me, they never really looked like they tried to build a team around AD.
No, absolutely not.
So, because again, I mean, if he's going out publicly and talking to Shams and telling Shams, yo, we need a center, that tells me what? Like, was there ever a conversation with you and Rob Pelinka? Because why would he ever have to say that? He's a champion in the Laker uniform. It's weird.
I mean, it really is, and it's really shocking because one thing that I mentioned to you off air was what's Mark Cuban really saying on this? A team that was or an owner that was very adamant about having the best players, or trying to do whatever he can with it, and then go from that from what 2 years maybe I guess it was that he sold his majority part, kind of take a back seat, and then. I don't know if you've seen there was a tweet, I think it was, that was Chandler that sent to Cuban and said, wow, I'm really confused. And Mark sent back to him and said, that makes two of us. So Mark Cuban didn't even know this was going to go on. Even talking about with Jason Kidd not knowing, like I guarantee you that LeBron James knew that the Lakers were thinking about trading AD for Luka. Like, that conversation happened with a player. Of course, I think Redick probably was in it too, of course. But I'm thinking the head coach didn't even know. Like in the press conference, it was almost a little odd that Jason Kidd was just trying to keep no expressions whatsoever on his face because he's like, man, I didn't know. Like this shocked me. I have nothing to say. So, yeah, it's crazy. I've seen even grades. I want to ask you this. I've seen some people put out grades that the Mavs are an F and then the Lakers were an A in this trade. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I saw that on ESPN. That's just ESPN trying to get a click. They will never get that from me.
Okay, because I thought F was pretty disrespectful on it, but
yeah, I would never give them that type of luxury for me to click on that.
Okay. Well, good. I think
that's all that's for. But listen, AD, Nico Harrison is also about connections too. So Nico Harrison had a relationship with AD from Nike when Nico Harrison was with Nike.
Kidd coached.
Harrison and Pelinka were cool because Harrison and Kobe had a relationship, and obviously Rob Pelinka was Kobe's agent. Mm-hmm. So again, conversations that you were having with people way before you got in those positions. You understand what I'm saying? So those are different type of conversations. You're not just talking to somebody you just met once you got into the NBA. This is somebody you've been talking to for like 20 years. So those are different type of text, and both guys have significant power in the league for two of the most successful franchises. I mean, when Luka was there, the team was successful in the playoffs, pretty much in the playoffs every year, except his rookie year. So it's definitely a shocker, and
How do you think that conversation started? Because I've seen that Nico actually had put out in some type of interview that he said, it started out weeks ago, is what he said, or maybe a week ago.
3 to 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. And he said that it was, hey, would you ever trade? And then, that was basically that. Would you ever trade Luka? And I was like, well, it got in my head, and I started thinking, well, would you trade AD? I'm like, this was really thought out, like this didn't just happen that night. Right. This had been marinating for a while that they really considered this. And I don't know, man. How do you come to terms to say, yeah, I'm going to give up Luka?
Yeah. So like I said, that's the thing. I don't know the root of the what led to that. We don't know that. And the people are speculating now. Tim McMahon's dropping some articles. He's obviously been a Maverick Dallas insider for a long time. We'll see. I might take a look at that. I don't want to just read everything he says because that's just super one-sided. But
right
when you look at the trade, that's probably the best you were going to do. So all these other teams are complaining like, oh, we didn't get an opportunity. The opportunity to do what? You weren't getting anybody close to AD as an offer. What you want to get role players and picks? They still want to win now. If you want to win now and later, and you wanted to move someone like Luka, Anthony Davis was about the only player, Giannis, Jokic, Tatum. That's it. in terms of timeline of youth, of age with prime, still have much time to go. Obviously, LeBron 40, Steph 37, still dominant, but KD 36, 37. But it's just different. They're on a different timeline. Luka's on a completely different. AD is still, to me, on the same timeline as Jokic and Embiid. They're all around the same age. So if you're gonna say Jokic's prime is and Embiid's prime, Giannis 30, they're all around the same age. So when is their prime end? Like if their prime end long does AD's prime end shorter than those other guys? How can you just make that definitive assumption like that? You know, so in terms of the actual trade and what they got, you weren't getting anything else. Anybody name me another team outside of those players that I named that you would trade Luka for and get something back? If he had traded role players and picks, I would have been like, what are you doing? That would have been the worst trade. But to get Anthony Davis back, I mean, it's one of the best players in the NBA, top 5 player, however you want to rank him. Luka's been out, but top 6. They swapped pretty much top 6 players. That's what they did. Me personally, I still would have probably got another couple more first round picks because Luka is younger than Davis by 6 years. So I would have probably asked for at least 3 first round picks. And, you know, I feel like that would have been enough in what you got easy. But again, these guys have relationships that extend before they became basketball executives. So
So I'm going to ask you this before we go into
real life.
Yeah. So I want to ask you this. As of right now on February 4th, 2025 at 9:21 p.m., who now is in a better position to have a shot at winning the title? The Lakers or the Mavericks?
I'd say it's about the same right now.
About the same?
Yeah. Because we just saw LeBron have a 30-point triple-double in the Garden. And Luka before he got hurt was averaging 28, 8, and 8. So, I mean, that's what, 60 points combined. That's pretty much a 25-plus triple-double apiece. You could pretty much almost book that for a night. So that's around 20 assists, 14-plus assists for just 2 players. Teams usually average around 28, 20, 25, 20, 24. That's crazy. And the attention they bring, that's going to be a lot more open shots. You thought you were getting open shots with just LeBron. Now you have Luka as well. So, yes, do they need a center? Absolutely. No question. I mean, they needed a center when they had AD. So, now you need a power forward and a center.
Yeah.
Maybe not a power forward. You could put Bron at the 4, Dorian Finney-Smith at the 3. The backcourt situation with Reeves and Luka, it's great offensively, but defensively, what are we doing? If Reeves is willing to sit in the chair and really lock in, I believe he could do that. He's not. You know, he could do. I feel like he could probably do that. He'd be a smart defender, draw charges. There's ways to be a good defender if you don't have the elite athleticism. You can use your IQ. So if he can use his IQ on offense, he can use his IQ on defense.
Right.
Simple, no excuses. So if that happens, great. I mean, I've seen glimpses, but not consistently over a course of like 15 plus games of that. So that's tough for me to really just go out on a limb and say that's going to happen. So until that happens, that's a tough defensive backcourt, even as talented as both of those guys are. But you're pretty much now playing that we're just going to outscore you type game.
Yep. And
yeah, listen, they could. Like I just gave you the numbers for LeBron and Luka right now. Like current day Bron right now. So, you know, it's definitely possible. And JJ Redick obviously wants to get up as many threes as possible. Dorian Finney-Smith has been a great 3-point. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to make a lot of money, man. Easily.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this really finishes out. When is the deadline? Friday?
Deadline is Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, Thursday.
And then we look at the Mavericks. still a really good team. Kyrie, I believe in Kyrie. I believe Kyrie is on a mission to show that, you know, he could win another championship. And what does this say about the motivation with Kyrie and AD as a duo? They have underlining motivations. Yes, people are sleeping on that. The Mavericks picked Kyrie over Luka. I mean, I'm not trying to make it divisive, but that's what they did. When you trade Luka, and Kyrie was the guy that came after, significantly after. So that says a lot. That says a lot. So AD and Kyrie, they want to try to win a championship, see if they can win a championship together. Both players won the championship with LeBron. They want to see if they could do it as a duo without LeBron. That's a nice hidden narrative. If they're able to do that, we're having different discussions. Kyrie and AD win a chip, we're having different discussions. So, and they both already won a chip. So it's not out of the realm of reality. And Luka's been to the finals. LeBron's been to, 10? So, and Luka's already one of the greatest playoff performers in NBA history. And LeBron is statistically, I feel like Michael Jordan is still the greatest playoff performer in NBA history. But on the numbers, LeBron is definitely up there, top 3, top 2 as well. So that's a great duo. So I feel like I would say the Mavericks have more depth.
Yes.
Bringing in Christie, bringing in Caleb Martin from Philadelphia. I thought they was going to keep Grimes. I think Grimes was playing well. He had some really good moments, especially when guys are out, making big-time shots, going to the basket.
Of course you like Grimes.
Yeah, wish him the best in Philadelphia. I think he's going to get an opportunity in Philadelphia, too, to play. Jared McCain is out. I don't know what the situation is going to be with Paul George. He'll get minutes.
Yeah.
If he plays defense, Nick Nurse will play. Simple. So it's definitely not over for him. Wish him the best. He's not going to a bad team. He's going to get a lot of open shots. Maxey and B create open shots for him.
Yep.
But the Mavericks hit Caleb Martin. He's a kind of streaky shooter, but he does everything else really well. I think that's perfect. That's exactly what you need on a team in the West. On a team like the Mavericks, it takes certain things away that Kyrie and AD don't necessarily have to do. That player can do that to the highest level. And Kyrie and AD can do it in spurts, but more specifically in the fourth quarter. That's the ideal situation. So Caleb Martin's that player. He fits that mold 100%. Like he's in that Josh Hart mold. Like he's not as good as Josh Hart, not even close, but he's in that team's type of player archetype. So if the shot's going in, but yeah, I like both teams. I think the Mavericks probably have a better roster right now. But if you ask me who's the better players, of course, it's LeBron and Luka are the better. Just on paper, right. Got to look at it on paper right now because both teams haven't played with the duos. But that's the way the team's constructed, coaching wise. I obviously favor the Mavericks. So, what type of window is it? I think it's like a 5-year window.
Oof.
Why not?
Will LeBron be in the league in 5 years?
No, I'm saying for the Mavericks.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then yeah. For me, I feel like I'm going to go with the Mavericks. Actually, have a better shot of winning the title this year, and the reason for me is obviously both players are great, phenomenal players. Luka is not top 5 in the league right now. Let's just be honest. Of course, he's not played since Christmas, so he's been out. He's hurt. Whatever's going on with that. But the reason why I give the edge to the Mavericks right now is basically everything you said with the depth and everything, but it's easier to implement a big man into your system instead of having to put someone in that's going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit like Luka will with the Lakers. Should be easy to take over, but as far as getting into the games, the schemes, and everyone gelling together right away, I think it might actually take a little bit on that, just for the fact that LeBron's got to learn when Luka wants the ball, Luka's got to learn when LeBron wants the ball. With AD, it's going to be pick and roll, or it's going to be pick and fade, or he's going to ISO onto the left or outside, because I'm assuming he's going to be the 4. That's what he wants, obviously, even though possibly could be the 5. It might be a rotation kind of thing there. PJ can spread it out by shooting the corner three. Anthony Davis can do it. PJ can go down low. Of course, then you got Lively and Gafford as well. So the versatile of the lineup for the Mavericks, I think it's going to be good. And I think Caleb Martin's going to be more of a defensive guy for them too, who can make those shots too. So I'm giving the edge to the Mavericks right away win. Now, after a year or so, and the Lakers maybe make some more moves by the time we have our next episode, then of course it could be different. But as of right now, I give the edge to Mavericks. So what is next for the Lakers and Mavericks? I don't know if I like Luka in that yellow right there.
Man, look at these stats. This is wow. 5-time first team All NBA, 5-time NBA All-Star, Rookie of the Year, number 2 all-time playoff points per game, number 3 all-time regular season points per game, 6 all-time playoff triple doubles, and number 7 all-time in triple doubles. Just raw. He's only 25, so
25.
A lot of upside, but again, there's to me, I still don't understand it. So there's 2 sides to every story, and I understand people defending Luka, but I just want to know the whole story. And Luka said he doesn't understand it. He doesn't know it. Why they would do that? Not turning down. No one would ever turn down $116 million. He would have signed a 5-year, $350 million.
Right. The extra part, yeah.
$70 million a year in Texas. You would have saw all of the bread. The amount of money you would have been able to see. So I don't know what it is. Maybe one day when Nico Harrison retires, he'll give a reason. But this is a shocker. You just don't really see this. There's nothing to compare it to. You can't even, the one that I was upset at, but it didn't have this magnitude because he wasn't as good at the time, was when James Harden got traded. I was upset. I was supporting OKC. There was a young team. I was like, yeah, this team is great. They were 90 combined in the game between Russ, Harden, and KD. You saw the talent. They were like 20, 21, going crazy. And they gradually got better. I always felt like Scott Brooks should have put Harden as a starter, and it would have increased his value. The fact that it was $4 million, that was the difference, and the reason why he didn't stay. And they made that trade. Then his debut, he has like 37 in Houston, and I'm 37 and 12, 6. I'm just like, I knew it. It was the bat. That's still one of the worst trades to me in NBA history. Now, OKC has been able to recover from that because Sam Presti's great. Right. They still need a championship. But yeah, that was like the most recent one to where I'm like, this is a wild one. And it worked out for Houston for sure. It worked out for Houston. Mm-hmm. Didn't really work out for OKC. So yeah, this trade is definitely up there as one of the shockers.
And to me, you almost got to attach to it as well as the Jalen Brunson situation. The Mavericks had Jalen Brunson and Luka, and in a matter of 3 years, got rid of both of them. Like, what's going on? First of all, we shouldn't let Jalen Brunson go. We know that now. Of course, back then, maybe it was questionable, except for you, CJ, because he went to New York and you believed in him and it turned out well. But as far as what could the Mavericks had with those two already, it would have been a cheaper Kyrie as far as being productive if Jalen Brunson had been there. So, the Mavericks, if they don't do something in 5 years, this will go down as probably the worst front office move in a tenure in NBA history, losing both of those.
I can't go that far because they still have Kyrie and AD. So it's tough to really say. It's really tough to go out and go on that far on a limb and say it's the worst trade, because out of that, he was able to recover and get Kyrie, and they went to the finals. So we'll see if he's able to recover. You see, he was able to recover with AD. if you're a Mavs fan, that's probably like the only thing you really have to bank on in the present day, because of course you're upset. You know how great Luka was. He was supposed to be here for the long haul. He mentioned loyalty in the press conference this afternoon. So it was different. It was he wasn't like these other, like other players that may have wanted to leave and things like that, which is absolutely their right. But
so go ahead.
Yeah. So it was a shocker. It was a shocker. And
so apparently on Bleacher Report right now, there's an article out, and I've not read it. I've just kind of seen it here. But Kevin Durant was downgraded today to doubtful for the game, for tomorrow's game. So he may not play tomorrow. And the reason why I say that is because there's a chance that they may trade him, apparently. And, of course, this is rumor, it's Bleacher Report. And they're saying that the landing spots, or at least the ones that are interested, are the Mavericks, teaming him up with Kyrie again, of course. Houston Rockets and the Warriors are the three teams that apparently are dreaming on this.
Wow.
So maybe the Mavericks aren't done. Maybe like I said earlier, they've got a huge front court now. Maybe they move some of those players, move some picks as well, and maybe we don't know what finished product here. So again, that's what we're saying. What's next for them?
But I think also, but something in terms of like maybe not a big move.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as we were saying, you could always get better with depth, add more floor spacing, more defenders, and they have players that they can move. People maybe think they might try to pair. Yeah, they're in discussions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they want to get KD, create a big three with that, Jimmy Butler, something like that. But Jimmy Butler wants to go to, we'll talk about that in a few, but we don't know what's next. It's very unpredictable. Could we see some teams become irrational and make a move because of what the Mavericks and the Lakers did? If certain teams, they may have been negotiating with another team pre-Luka AD trade, and now we're having different conversations on the phone about what type of moves we can make. Like, nah, I need more than this, or we're not making the move unless this player is involved. Different type of discussions. So, like a move of this magnitude, it changes the whole entire business of basketball. But for me personally, I would just look at the trade for what it was, face value. I wouldn't overreact for my team, especially if I had a good team. I would still, of course, try to improve my team and make it better in areas that it needs to improve, especially to go far. But this is a separate entity because, again, that relationship that we talked about between the two men, it's different. So, Lakers, Rob Pelinka's not off the hook to me. I don't look at it that way. You still have to improve. He said the market for the centers right now is dry. Okay. But we've been saying you should have gotten the center years ago. and it's your job when you draft players. If you have a draft pick in the draft and you have a specific team need that you may not be able to acquire in the offseason, or you haven't been successful in acquiring in the offseason, you want to develop in the draft. You want to leave now, bro. Why would he leave? It's a perfect situation. Perfect situation, brother. It could extend his career. What's good, though?
It really could, because now he could, he doesn't have to play point if he doesn't want to. That's something that we've talked about time and time again is as LeBron gets older, he can move to the 5 even, and really extend that career for however long he wanted to. So I think that does help him possibly play maybe 5 years. I don't know. But
I don't know about 5 years. To me, I think one more year. See what they do this year and then try to go on a run. Last run, year 23. The All-Star game is in Los Angeles. I think it makes the most sense. But again, it's his career, But it kind of evens out in terms of a narrative. AD got him mad for. Wait, go back and show that again. AD got a mouth for calling him out for not signing Dwight and McGee. Oh, Pelinka. I mean, yeah. I don't feel like that's what it was. Again, I think it was more because to me it seems like the Mavericks are more eager to move Luka as opposed to the Lakers who wanted to move AD. So Pelinka's reaction was more really like that's when. So when they were describing it, it made a lot of sense to me. Really, like, okay, yeah, listen, we love AD, but Luka Doncic. So
how would you play that conversation off? Without getting too excited. Like you're offering Luka for AD, yes. Like I gotta wait just a second.
And the one thing I think the one thing too that people are doing is like they're overreacting and they're disrespecting AD in the process.
Yes.
Like calling it the worst trade because and this is funny too because people call Luka Doncic generational, right? Which is true. We were having the same discussion about AD when he came out of Kentucky and won the national championship. If he would score, he was going to be Garnett. If he had more offense to his game, he was going to be Garnett. Narratives was there. Everybody was like, you lived it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people were calling him a generational talent when he was at Kentucky, blocking shots, getting triple doubles with blocks, like Wembanyama, same thing.
Yep.
And he was the number one pick. He lived up to the hype. I mean, does he have an MVP? Does he have a DPOY? No. And do I feel like, yes, he should definitely have he should have both at this point in his career. He should have both at this point in his career with his talent. So this is motivation for him. It's not out of the realm that he can't get an MVP in the next few years easily. He's still in his prime, playing at a high level. He just had a 40-20 game last week.
And he's been available longer now. Like the past 2 years, he's not been as hurt. Of course, that's been the thing that's hurt him for a while now is the longevity of his season that he plays, whatever happens, So, yeah, if he stays healthy, I mean, I want to say we're 1 year, 2 year away when he had like a 10-game streak of playing that you were saying that he's up there with Giannis as far as back up there, as far as defensive side and offensive side. If he's healthy, he's top 5, top 10 player, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, he is. So he's a top 5 player. So
when I agree because that's why I really want to ask you all that because, I mean, it's not really a bad trade for what Dallas got. It's just it's tough to say that you gave up Luka,
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think really pick and roll with this with Anthony Davis, pick and pop, like I said earlier, plus the ISO on the block. They've got shooters. They've addressed some of those. I think Martin was a good pickup because, Luka is a ball-dominant player and Kyrie can't do it all. Martin can handle the ball, not much, but, I mean, he can get you some offensive points to make up for that. And, of course, AD is bringing those offense as well. Not top 10.
He's not top 5. Yeah, so we were having this discussion in the group chat, right? And I was saying AD was top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And my bro Sean, he disagreed. What do you think?
Top 5. It'd be tough to. I mean, here's the thing, and you proved this to me when we first started doing a podcast. I don't like to say top whatever really because then all you got to do is say, well, name your people that are ahead of him or who he beats out, and it's tough to do. Like top 5 is more solid, but when you get to top 10, it can be interchangeable. Some of these players have a good night, whatever, and it's like, well, then it gets to opinion. So I'm fine with saying he's top 10 because whoever you think might be in there instead of him, to me, it's vice versa. So it's tough because SGA is running the show right now. Let's be honest. He's great. You got Jokic as well. And then, I mean, you could throw in Leonard whenever he's completely healthy. You got that Embiid. If he's healthy, he's great. You've got Giannis that we didn't even mention till just now. He is great.
I was Giannis, bro. You said Kawhi. I was like, okay, yeah, Kawhi, yes.
Well, Kawhi, when he's healthy, he's top 5.
For Giannis.
So, I mean.
Giannis. So you're saying you don't think he's top 10, but if he was in somebody's top 5, you wouldn't disagree.
Yeah, it's all on how you value a player too. Like if you like big guys, 4 or 5 front courts better than obviously the 2 you're going to like better. So I mean, I don't get too bent out of shape because I didn't even say Luka or LeBron in those names as well. So
right,
it's all could be interchanged really. Would I take AD. I didn't even say Kevin Durant either, or Booker. So, I mean, there's a lot of players that you could say that are up there, and it's just tough to actually pinpoint who is the best. And I mean, you could go by stats, you could go by leadership. I mean, there's so many different things that you can go by, but you're never going to nail it down to where it's a unanimous answer. So I'll say top 10 because I can say, yeah, that's just a lot of players that we're putting in there.
Okay. Yeah, I believe he's top 5. Definitely lock. And
because he is a two-way player. That's something that gets overlooked too.
Exactly. So I got Jokic, SGA.
Luka? Of course, he's not healthy, but
Tatum.
I didn't mention Tatum.
Giannis. And Anthony Davis. And like Luka's not healthy. Like it's like those two guys right there. First team, second team, all NBA for offense, and then first team all NBA defense. So that's literally you're a top 5 player.
Again, I'm fine with that. Because I mean SGA gives you defense. It's not really noted too great, but he's good defender.
No, he doesn't have the MVP.
No.
He doesn't have the finals MVP or DPOY. But he does have the chip. Like the people in the group that I just named. Right? Like Jokic still has one, Giannis still has one, Tatum has one, Anthony Davis has one. Luka obviously is on that level, is still searching for one, but absolutely on that level, right? So where do you like? Who's the drop your top 10, bro, or top 5? Let me see your top 5. To the person that said that he's not top 5.
You're talking about hitting. Yeah. Tell us who your top 5 that doesn't have AD in that. Because I mean, it's tough to really say who is better than who. To me,
because if we talk about what you value, that's what. Yeah, he's the definition of that.
Oh, here he's got it. Oh, he's got it.
See. You got Wemby top 5 already, brother. Wow. Listen, I believe Wembanyama is top 10. Absolutely.
He's going to be there. Yes.
I believe he is a top 10 player already in the NBA. But I don't think he's top 5 yet. He still has to make the playoffs, bro. As great as he is, he still has to make it. Now we're going to talk about the move that they made that could definitely propel them to that moment. So,
you want to go ahead and switch to that?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So, of course, what he's talking about, guys, is DeAndre Fox traded to the Spurs, and the King gets Zach LaVine in the deal. And, of course, there's other pieces with that. So, now you're going to have really, you could call him a big 3 if you want. I don't know. I wouldn't call him a big 3, but it's definitely solid for the future with Fox, Wemby, and Chris Paul. So I think they made a great move on this because Chris Paul's not going to be there for much longer. I don't know how long he may play, but 3-4 years, maybe 5. De'Aaron Fox is going to be taking over the team with that, and Wemby is a 1-2 punch with them. Plus, they may still have a good pick this year. So, yeah, I think the Spurs did a wonderful job. We talked about this last week, that the best landing spot really is the Spurs for De'Aaron Fox. So, we weighed all the options out, and that's where he ended up, and the Spurs should have made that move. Let's see here. This is the first time Fox actually has someone. I mean, yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, Sabonis is no joke, let's be honest, but I feel
that's a little bit disrespectful.
Because Sabonis is, top 20, top 25? He's just played out of position. I feel like he's a 4 playing a 5 because he can't extend out to the 3-point yet. If he gets that in his bag, then I think that's going to be up his game even more. But I mean, what did he have the other night? 20 and 15, I think it was, or something crazy.
Yeah, 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lie, but that's what I thought. So I mean, he's not bad. It's just I feel like the Kings haven't made the right move to get that 5 to where he can be the 4. But what we think about the Spurs? What do you think about this move?
We talked about this last week. We definitely felt like the Spurs was going to be a prime destination for him to go to. And Sabonis, I understand, but someone who can contribute. Sabonis is a great third option. More energy on the court. Energy on the court. Defensively, maybe, yeah, but in terms of the rebounding and the passing, he could be a better scorer. I feel he does bring energy on the court. Definitely double when you have the amount of double doubles that he has consecutively. He's a double double machine. I mean, but I understand what you mean in some aspects, but yeah, this was bound to happen. He was with the Kings for 8 years.
That's crazy.
One playoff appearance in 8 years. So it's not like he was at a marquee. Now, they used to be a marquee franchise. Bad ownership, bad decisions, bad coaching, unsuccessful draft picks led to the opposite. But I feel like he was there for a long enough time to be asked for a trade. He did it at the right moment. Did it about a week before, gave him time. They get Zach LaVine, 3 first-round picks, and 3 second-round picks. That's nice. That's a great haul. That's a great haul. Zach LaVine's 27 years old, one of the best scorers in the league, 25 points a night. He already has chemistry with DeMar DeRozan. They played multiple years together in Chicago. So that's not something that you necessarily have to worry about in terms of them being able to know their spots and their shots and what works. Of course, Malik Monk and the other players there, that's going to be something that's going to be you have to adapt to. But at the end of the day, it's still basketball. Doug Christie has done a really solid job. With after Mike Brown got fired, people probably thought it was going to be the end, but they were able to definitely win a lot of games. The defense could definitely be better. But
Sacramento Bulls, I like it.
Sacramento Bulls, yeah, with a lot more scoring and rebounding. When you add Sabonis and Monk, they did. I mean, they had that. Vucevic I would say Sabonis is a better player than Vucevic. If you want to compare it to the Bulls in Chicago, Sabonis is definitely a better player. Vucevic is a better shooter, but everything else, you go with the Montes. And that's a tough team to defeat on a night in Sacramento. Like, you can't just walk in there and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna get that dub." That's a tough game. You got LaVine, DeRozan, Monk, Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis. They got Sabonis. They got some. You have to be head on the swivel. You have to be locked in defensively. You can't be a mismatch on defense. You will be isolated and put in a box the whole night. It's a tough game. That's a tough matchup. Where do you think that leads them?
As far as in the West?
For the Kings. Yeah, for the Kings. And then you can do the Spurs. And then we talk about the Spurs.
I think for the Kings, I still think that they're possibly a playing team with this. Because, I mean, DeRozan and LaVine has chemistry. They know what to do. They know what it takes to win. Sabonis is, a hoss down there. Let's be honest. Monk can light up anything. He can get hot and be a very streaky player. So, I mean, it's not a bad team. Let's just be honest. Plus, they have 2 picks in this next year's draft. I don't know if they had to lose any, if they may have 3 of their own, but they pick up a first round and a second round now. So they possibly could have 3 picks this year. I'm not for sure. I was actually trying to look it up. But so this is actually good to build with, You've got DeRozan and LaVine, who's your veterans. You've got Sabonis, who's your young guy that's going to be your core, basically. You got Monk, who is still a developing player and developing in a great form. Of course, him and Fox had a great relationship there. So, I mean, if you hit a home run with one of the picks, this is a building team for real.
Yeah, and you don't know what that Charlotte pick is going to be. Lake Show, shout out Nico. You don't know what that 2025 the Hornets pick could be, or that Chicago 2025 second round pick. That's going to be a high second round pick.
Yep,
no question. So, and you have what you still have.
So good move by the Kings for sure.
It's a good move by the Kings. I think they got They got the best you're going to get from replacement for the Aaron Fox.
Mhm.
No question. These are some solid trades. Listen, I know the shock value with the Luka one, of course, but that's still a good trade. And I feel like this is a good trade for the Kings and the Spurs. The Bulls, okay, they get the first round pick, Kevin Herter, Zach Collins trade. I mean, I don't know what. I guess is plant the flag. And they're going to North Carolina and start scouting. I think it's a tough road, especially when you got the Wizards. But it's different. It's not like the NFL. But the NBA has their ways. They had their way with the Spurs. So the flag will be planted in whatever city. We'll see. We will see. But I don't really see what the direction is. They said they want to keep Lonzo Ball. I don't think that's necessarily that's been the report. Josh Giddey, young player. I don't know. Kobe White, really good player. Could definitely is a starter for the rest of his career. Excellent player, young player, still like 25, 26. He's not going anywhere. I really don't know. I really don't know their true direction. And they really didn't get enough for me because you getting rid of LaVine. You don't really get – they should have at least got like 2 first-round picks, a couple second-round picks. How do you lose LaVine and just get that? I don't understand. The type of games LaVine was having, and the Kings get the boatload of everything, and you don't get anything. You were just there. Like, hey, thanks, Chicago. That's pretty much what this was.
Pretty much.
It's like, Chicago, appreciate you. We needed you. Hey, we just needed you. Oh, yeah, you guys are really – wait, you guys are really going to be – you don't want anything else. That's it? Just a couple expirings and just one pick for LaVine?
That's
and
crazy.
Send it in right now. Send it in. He's ready. No, don't even ask any more questions. He's ready to go. Like, what, bro? I don't know, man. I don't understand.
So I'm trying to, and I'm looking at it's tankathon.com, and it has the first round picks and everything, but I don't know if it's updated. But of course, they're projecting with Washington being number 1 overall pick, of course, the lottery and everything. But the projection as far as records, Charlotte should have the number 4 pick overall. And I'm assuming that's the pick that's traded here because there's no other pick that they have in the first round. So theoretically, the Kings could have as high as the 4th pick. I mean, if they lucked up, we know it could really happen with the lottery. And it looks like, well, San Antonio might have had to trade some of their picks. I'm not for sure. But they've got 2 in the first round right now. So I don't know, man. It's going to be fun to see how it finishes out. And of course, the Spurs, we know it puts them in a perfect situation for their team. You have another scorer who can take over a game who's been clutch in the past years. So partner that with Chris Paul, who can set up anyone in the spot that they need. I mean, he's just a general out there. This is a great move for the Spurs. I think. Let me ask you first. Where do you think this will put them finishing the year now, or in the rankings?
I believe it's playing as well. I still need to see. I need to see what it looks like on the court. Do you really believe LaVine is the number 1 option to build around?
Me personally, no, I don't think so. If you could, but with the picks that they have, they could find that number 1 in this year's draft coming up. I mean, if you could somehow make another trade and get that first pick and get Cooper Flag, pair that up with DeRozan and LaVine and Sabonis.
Yeah, I don't know with that's the thing, right? It's what are they going to do next? I really don't know.
Yeah.
I think they kind of just want to see what this team is going to look like with LaVine, DeRozan, and Sabonis. I think they're going to play through Sabonis. I don't think LaVine will be the number 1 option, bro. I believe Sabonis will be the number 1 option.
Oh.
They're going to play through Sabonis. Sabonis should be averaging 27, 15, and 8. Why not? Does that sound impossible? Now he could never be a snub. He'd be undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
27, 13, and 7. You can't take that out the All-Star game. You'd be insane. So now they play through Sabonis. I feel like they were playing through Fox, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It was his team. He was there the longest. He was the elder statesman. Right now, it's Sabonis' team. And if DeRozan and LaVine accept that, Doug Christie has to have a conversation with those three guys together.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, this is Sabonis' team. I mean, it should be. Sabonis is the guy that's been there the longest now, so it's the best player. So yeah, it's pretty obvious. 26, 13, and 7. That's not impossible. He's already around there. He's around like 19 or so. It's just the points. The rebounds are there. The assists are there. It's just the points. The points could definitely get better. And I expect it to now with the offense being ran through him. And now we'll see what they could be, because those are two great second and third options if you're Sabonis. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. In terms of number 2 and 3 options, doesn't get any better. And again, like we talked about, they already have chemistry. So they could be dangerous. This would be a dangerous team if they all
lock in. And bring the ball up too, you know? I mean, he's talented enough to start the break.
For sure, yeah. Exactly. Spurs. Yeah, I like this move. And the fact that they were able to keep Castle, keep Vassell, Keldon Johnson. Yeah, they had to give up first. I mean, that's crazy.
Who did they have to trade?
Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and that couple first round picks. So 2027 first round pick.
So yeah, they kept their future
2025 first round pick. Exactly. They kept Castle and they kept Vassell with Fox. That's your 1 through 3 right there. You got to find a power forward or a center. Depending on what Wembanyama wants to do. I mean, your 7'5" should be pretty obvious answer to me.
4 stretch.
7'5". 7'5". Anyways, but he's playing center right now, and they got rid of Zach Collins. So yes, that's exactly how it needs to be. That's a good start. That's a really good starting lineup. Chris Paul off the bench. He's already played off the bench. Egoless leader. You re-sign him. You have to.
And what's great with that too is where Wemby can shoot, outside, it's a pick and fade constantly. That way, Fox has that. Open lane. Even Chris Paul can have the open lane, but Fox is going to get the pick and straight down with his speed, and it's going to be finished in a layup. And if they double team, or if they both hedge and try to double team, he's just going to kick out from Wemby for a 3 or a mid range, 18-footer or something like. That's going to open up so much on that offense.
Would like to see Fox improve his floor spacing and have Wembanyama move closer to the rim. But yes, either way, they both should be versatile. They both should be able to space the floor at an efficient clip. It's a fun duo.
Yes.
Fox works hard, great on defense, clutch, as you talked about. They're both clutch. So, wow. They got Vassell and Castle. Like, that's crazy, bro. That's pretty wild. So, I'll say play-in just because they don't have the games together and the other teams above them do. That's what I still have to be realistic. This is not 2K, right? And games have already been played. We're like 48 games in.
Mm-hmm. And right now, as far as the standing, the Spurs are 12th, the Kings are 11th, and the Spurs record's 21-26. The Kings are 25-24. So they're right at the play-in there. It's just who's going to fall off of the play-in.
They're probably going to play each other in the play-in. That's going to be a hell of a game. That's going to be an incredible game. Kings Spurs in the play-in, battle for a seed. Can't wait.
So right now, the play-in teams are the Timberwolves, Suns, Mavericks, and Warriors. Who do you think falls out?
Timberwolves, Suns, Mavericks, and Warriors. I don't know. Whatever team doesn't make a move on Thursday. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because we're two teams that are out of the play-in made moves. So, could be Minnesota. Could be Golden State. Could be Phoenix. We'll talk about Phoenix a little bit, but So we got playing second half of the season for both squads. No top 6.
Yes, play-in for sure. Yeah, for these two.
Okay, cool.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you asked me. I was like, yeah.
You're good, bro. You're good, brother.
I really hope the Suns don't fall apart.
Why not?
Because Booker, man, he's my Kentucky guy.
Yeah, I mean,
but something's got to change.
Two Kentucky guys just got traded.
I know. So now I'm a Spurs fan again. But
they need Ginobili. Who's going to be Ginobili? Vassell? That'd be great. I think he definitely has the skill set. They got Tim and Tony.
So let's move on to my East Coast team.
Yeah, East Coast squad
is nothing but drama right now, and I can't stand it. And it's not culture. But CJ, where's Jimmy Butler going?
See what's up right now.
We got a video. Awesome.
Sure.
Deadline, but Jimmy Butler, he remains with the Miami Heat as we say hello once again to our senior insider, Shams Charania here. Shams, how close is Miami to finding a trade partner for Butler?
I think logically they are getting closer. We're inching closer to the February 6th, Thursday, NBA trade deadline. But I'm told the Heat still have not yet received the type of trade package that they want to move Jimmy Butler. They are engaged with multiple teams. Both sides have the same goal going into Thursday, and that's finding a trade out of Miami. I'm told the Suns and Warriors remain very key to watch here. Those are the two teams that it seems are the most likely right now in this situation. But from Jimmy Butler's perspective, the Suns are the only team right now that he is willing to commit long-term to. That's something that is known in league circles. How do the Heat handle this going into Thursday? How are other teams handling this? And how will it come down to Phoenix and Golden State? We'll see.
The clock is ticking, Shams. We will continue to check in with you as we get closer and closer to that trade deadline. And really appreciate it.
So that's tough.
Yeah. Where's he going to go, brother? Heat fan? What's up, bro? It's been on your mind.
I'm just ready for him to go. This has been too much of a distraction. Like, what happened so bad that Jimmy Butler don't want to play for Miami, who is technically in the playoffs as of right now at the 6th spot, 24 and 23?
Wow.
So, like, you're literally saying that you do not want to play with this team. Because why, though? You know, it's just something happened. This team is a contender. Like, let's be honest, 6th seed is a contender because Jimmy Butler's not been playing for us. So we're really down a superstar still playing at a 6th seed spot. You should want to play with this, man. Is it because the other guys are getting better and you're kind of getting back in the shadow a little bit because you've been in and out? Like, you're going to go to the Suns and be happy there? Like, I don't get it. So that's my feeling. But I do say I think the Suns do need to make some type of move because it's not working as of right now with KD, Booker, and Bill. We know that's kind of been a sore spot, I guess you'll say, because there's been rumors Bill was going to go to the bench. It's not happened. It has. Who knows what's going to go on with that? And I do feel like at least Jimmy Butler and a superstar could be the trade talk of that. Like, hey, he's not happy here. We want Bill. Give us a pick too, and we're good. But I don't think the Suns have too many picks to give up. So I don't see how the Suns really make a deal because what are you going to do? Give up 20, 30 picks, you know? Because we know they gave up so much to get KD, and we talked about how they had no depth after that. So I don't think Pat Riley is going to do a player-for-player swap. It's going to have to be something involved where we get a superstar and get something else. But let's see here. Suns are crazy. They need a center, and then, of course, best spot for him is the Mavs. I mean, Mavericks could be an interesting spot for them, but, I mean, I don't think – Miami needs a big man, really. You know, we got Bam. We're kind of solid with that. So I don't know. Are we going to go for PJ Washington? Are we going to go for one Lively or somebody? I mean, that's who they're probably going to keep because they just traded for him, and that's their one pick or last year's first round pick. Like, I don't know what Mavericks could really offer on this.
Yeah, I mean, you guys wouldn't need Lively because you have Ware. So
Ware too, yes, Khalil Ware, who is playing great.
You already have a starting center.
So
that's
they don't have anything that we could get. They couldn't offer us anything in return, I don't think.
Yeah, picks, PJ Washington. Yeah, it wouldn't be a lot. Said Phoenix and Golden State. But Golden State said they didn't want to sign an extension, which I think is smart for him to do for sure.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler this year is making $48 million. Next year he's going to be making $52 million, and then he's got one more year, the player option, I think, at $59 million.
He has leverage. He has elite leverage. Why?
Leverage.
Yes, the playoffs. The playoffs.
He's himmy. He is him.
Exactly, and that is what gives him leverage in this whole thing, because when you think about the playoffs, which is ultimately the goal of winning the championship, he's shown that he could take a team to the finals. He did it twice. And when you look at those rosters, really good players, quality, high IQ, yes, but wasn't like
role players. Really,
there wasn't a lot of all timers on that team. Let's just put it that way. Bam, I believe, will ultimately become one. That was it. Like, so, and Jimmy, right? So now, fast forward 35. I just feel like the way he's going about this hasn't been great. And that's not to say like Miami has done a perfect job either in terms of how they've gone about certain things. But
of course,
I thought the way this would end would be a little bit more professional, just based on what both sides were able to do collectively over the last 5 years. But it's not working out that way. It's not working out that way. I have Phoenix, maybe Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is definitely a wild card. It's something playing with Embiid. Embiid just came back tonight, so he's looking to, get some games in, get ready for a playoff push. They gotta win a couple games in a row. They gotta get right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be a part? Paul George with the Heat. That kind of works to me.
I would love that, actually.
You got Hero, George, Ware, Bam, Duncan Robinson.
Paul George, superstar, comes in and then is in the MVP talk next year.
Yeah. But it's a really good team. That's a really good team. And for Philadelphia, it would be Maxey, Jimmy Butler, Embiid. I mean, and that's Jimmy and Embiid. That's definitely they never wanted to end their duo in Philadelphia. That was because of Elton Brand and bad. It is what it is. You know what happened there. So I think everybody's happy if you do something like that. I think the money matches. You said Jimmy's making 48. I think Paul George signed for like 40 million or something, 42 million. Probably had another player in there. You could check that, brother. But
yeah, I'm working on it now. Shout out, no trade clause, by the way.
Shout out, no trade clause. And I think that's the best way to go to me.
Okay. Paul George is signed through the 28-29 season. This year he's making 49 mil. Next year he's making 52. The year after that, 54, 56, and then $72 million.
Yeah, so it won't get to that 70 but that contract won't make it all the way there.
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know if Miami wants to take that contract. That's also another thing. It's like,
well, if they don't trade him, they have it. Because it's basically the same as Jimmy Butler's. It was 40, then it was in the 50s the next two, and that's what that is.
Right, but you could probably. Is there an option there? There has to be. I think there's an option in that Miami deal.
For Paul George, it's 27-28 season. It's the player
option. Jimmy Butler.
Butler, I think, is pretty soon. That's why they were talking about signing the.
So that I think that's the difference there. The when that option is, because you're saying 48, 52, 54. You know, is Miami willing to pay that for Paul George?
Yeah,
talented, but still.
Okay, player option for Jimmy Butler's next season.
See, yeah. So it's just that could be the difference there.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
So let's be honest. Jimmy Butler could get traded and then take a player option and come back to Miami. Just saying, it could happen, guys.
Yeah, it's possible. He could stay. Even this tweet right here, Jimmy Butler's camp has repeatedly told Heat he's in shape, healthy, and ready to continue his career and move past this immediately. Okay. Like, what does that mean? Like, what they're messaging the Heat has been to negotiate best deal possible, and once in the red zone, if that team is granted permission by Miami to speak with Butler's representatives to discuss his long-term future, that dialogue will be welcome. To date, no team has asked for permission. So, yeah, like you just said, there's a possibility he could come back. That first sentence right there is new. Based on everything else we've heard, right? He's saying he's in shape and ready to come back and move past this. Is this all of what we're talking about? It's weird. Is he looking at the team like, hey, we're top 6. If I go there, we could make a run here. This is one of the most talented teams I've had. Is he had a revelation? I don't know. I don't understand why he wants to leave. This is, again, like as I just said, this is probably the best starting 5 he's had in Miami. From a talent perspective, it really is. As he gets older, they're getting better and young, and they're still younger and developing, so he doesn't have to carry as much, and he could still do his spurts. Obviously, he's going to play a little bit more than 50-something games. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's just about the money. And then I'd probably play this year out, see what we could do with the team, and then have another discussion in the offseason. I think somebody got to him. I think somebody got him in the conversation like, brother, you're playing in Miami. You're making $48 million a year. And you have a team. They just found a center that could get 20, 11, and 2 blocks any given night with Bam. Hero's improving. Duncan Robinson's one of the best shooters in the league. You got one of the best coaches in the league. Why are you trying to leave? I don't get it.
Well, to me, when I take that as he's basically trying to tell Miami, like, I'm fully healthy and I'm ready to play, like I'm ready to be traded. I didn't take it that he maybe's changing his mind and wanting to stay. Unfortunately, I wish that was the case, but I mean, it's been so much turmoil on this. Like, okay, wherever you want to go, man, let's just get you there. But like, I was thinking, Bill will probably be the trade as far as what goes on. Bill has got $50 million, 53, and then a player option in 26 and 27. So I mean, it's an extra year you get with Bill. Like, what I was thinking is the main thing that's stopping people trading for Butler, in my opinion, is you're going to make a big superstar switch with maybe a pick or whatever, and then possibly lose him at the end of this year. So until he actually
wants to go to Phoenix, then he'll probably. And
he says, right. So then he'll probably sign that long-term contract there. But like, I hate to say it, and I'm not being a prick here towards KD, but I just don't think Jimmy Butler and Kevin Durant's going to get along too well. Just for what we see on social medias with Kevin Durant and stuff, where I think if Jimmy Butler comes at him, like, hey, you're not playing defense, you need to just tighten up, you need to, be more physical. Kevin Durant might be, oh man, I'm done with this. You're horrible,
But he wants to go to Phoenix though. Like Sham said that was a destination. So that's not how he feels.
No.
And again, he was just in the finals 2 years ago.
What's crazy?
KD hasn't been in the finals in 6 years. Whew. Now, of course, context matters, but still facts.
So with this going on, does it hurt Jimmy Butler's legacy? Because he's ran into problems here with Miami now. Whatever, nobody knows what's going on, but apparently he's not happy. We've had him not happy with the Philadelphia 76ers. We know he wasn't happy with the Trailblazers, Timberwolves. And maybe there's more to the story why the Bulls traded him when nobody knew that was going to happen now.
Right. Yeah. His legacy. I mean, right now it looks bad, but when we look back, it's time. You look at what he did, and what he accomplished. That series against the Bucks, he was going crazy, big shots in the Garden. So you can't. Right, just I'm saying the way he's moving about this is so weird.
Right.
Jimmy was happy in Philly. Yeah, again, I guess that's Philadelphia, Phoenix. To me, those are the top two options. I don't think his legacy is going to be tarnished. It's just going to take some time before people come back around because of how it ended. If this was more amicable type of ending or, a relationship in this present moment, it wouldn't be like, just look at Fox and the Kings, right? You didn't see any friction, any backlash from either side. It was like, this is what we want to do. Let's get the best deal possible for me, for you guys, and let's move forward. I don't understand why Miami and Jimmy Butler were unable to do that. They've been more successful than the Kings and De'Aaron Fox. So, probably what it was is he probably wanted to stay, but wanted to make, $50 million. And maybe Pat Riley was not a little bit hesitant on that because of his inability to play a certain amount of games throughout the regular season. That's probably how this whole thing started. Probably because again, the way we just broke it down of what Miami has right now, present. Why would you have? And then location? Like, why would you ever want to leave that? Right. So, I think it's more about the contract and the extension, long-term money. Money talks. That's usually what it's about. Most of the time, it's either feelings or money. When these things get dealt and these situations occur in business, people feel a way about their money. So, where will he land? I feel like my top three choices would be Philadelphia, Phoenix. I'll say Philadelphia and Phoenix. Warriors. I don't know. Maybe Golden State. They got to move Kuminga. They have to be willing to move Kuminga. And maybe Wiggins. But do you want to make that move? You have 35, 37, 35. That's your big three.
Could they possibly put Draymond in with that deal? Kuminga and Draymond?
They wouldn't do that. I don't think they're going to trade Draymond.
I don't think Draymond will look good in any other jersey. Like, he has to be a Warrior his whole career. He's made it this long. It wouldn't be right. So I don't think the Warriors are an option here. That's just me. Phoenix has the superstar where they can be the swap. Let's just be honest. That really sounds like it's the only thing that can happen. Philadelphia, if Paul George, I'm agreeing with you. Like, that's the only other star power that they would move, but it's just, who do you think's better, Paul George or Jimmy Butler?
Man, this has been a discussion for years.
So, if you think Paul George is better, then why would you trade for Jimmy Butler, who's been there already, was happy, but you didn't take a chance on him. So what if he comes in and he's
difficult conversation? It's the most difficult debate probably in basketball. Paul George versus Jimmy Butler.
Well, here's the answer. Paul George is better in the regular season, but playoff Paul is worse than Jimmy Butler's playoff. So there you go. Depends on when you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But if Paul George does end up Miami, his playoff is great. Jimmy right now in playoffs, yeah.
Bradley Beal, but if you do that with Phoenix, it's like Bradley Beal would have to waive the no trade clause, and Bradley Beal in Miami, I think is great.
I think so too.
Great. But he said he didn't want to leave because he didn't want to uproot his family again, which is real. That's real life. Mm-hmm. Having to move. That's the reality of this trade things as well that everybody's not talking about. Right? It's just when you think about the trade, everybody's shocked. Oh my God! But it's also you're moving your family from one location to another. Yeah, of course.
And they said
They
Luka
make-
just bought a $12 million mansion last
But yeah,
week.
they make and again they make millions of dollars, so that's an easier process than other people that are not in that field. But
Mhm.
it's still it's still a reality. It's still something it's still an action you have to live through. So it's a process. So he may not be wanting to do that, but in terms of fit, both teams. Miami would probably want a guy like Bill who can space the floor, put the ball, efficient when he's locked in.
Mhm.
And if Butler really wants to go to Phoenix, that makes the most sense to me. So I think it's those two teams or he stays.
You think there's a chance he does stay?
Yeah, I believe so.
That would be great.
To me, that's a third option. I think that's a third. Those are the three options for me.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And I agree with you. I think obviously I'd rather him stay, but I think really Philly and Phoenix are the only two options that we could really talk about that makes any sense whatsoever for both teams. Unless there's just some team that's out there that's got a superstar that are wanting to tank now. But why would you trade for Jimmy Butler to tank? That doesn't even make sense. So let's go with some other trade deadline predictions that we may have going on here. There's a lot of noise still going on. I think, didn't the Lakers already make another trade? Didn't they get Miles? Or was that just rumor, Miles Turner?
No, yeah, that was just a rumor. No, they haven't got
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. KD's been a big talk, a big discussion, especially after the move that was made with Luka and AD. KD has already been traded, so that's not something that is impossible, right? And I don't know what the direction of the Phoenix Suns is. Can you tell me?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like they're made of these star players that just win games, and they have no vision on this. Like Bill's not fitting in. We get that. KD possibly is being in trade talks now. Like, could that be a Jimmy Butler KD trade? Like,
wow, that's not that. Now you want to talk about equality of trade? To me, if you were to rank it, how's that even fair? I would need picks.
Yes,
as well. That's
from
KD
Phoenix.
for Butler is insane. That's not a swap. It's great as Butler's man. That's not a swap.
But that would be really good. Well, I don't know. That would be putting KD at a 3 instead of a 4, which obviously he can play. That's what he's played his whole career, and he's kind of went to the 4 a little bit now, but
yeah. And then you got two defensive guys behind him. It's good.
Yeah. Man, that would be amazing.
Yeah, KD's on. I believe it's possibility that I'm gonna say it's 50-50. KD could get moved.
KD goes to Miami, wins a championship like LeBron did. That's what he's going for.
They're saying Dallas, Houston, and they're talking about some another team. I forgot the other team, but those were the two teams I saw.
Warriors,
Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know how they're able to make that move. Phoenix, I need 4 first-round picks, Kuminga, Wiggins, Moody. Yeah. That's the first conversation. That's what I'm asking for off rip. Now we could figure it out and work our way down and take players off. But
well, to me, yeah, Wiggins, because that's the 3 there anyway, so he has to be traded. Kuminga is the future. You're going to want that to go to the Phoenix as well. So I get the 2 players that you mentioned, but after that, man, do they have enough to trade? Which the Warriors haven't really been involved in too many trades, so they should have most of their picks, I'd say.
So again, it's like, you want to do one last run together, right? And without Clay. Okay. And Draymond and KD, they kind of hashed things out after that situation against I think it was against the Clippers. They got into that argument, right? They seem like they hashed it out cool. They're grown.
Yeah.
Right? So, like I said, you want to do one last hurrah Like, what does that look like? To me, that's the same thing with Butler. Even though KD's better, but the time they had just 2 years and then we'll figure it out. I don't know. I don't think that makes a lot of sense to me. This is a team that's already suffered from being a luxury tax for years, right? So you want to go through that again? I don't know. I think Golden State should probably relax. As crazy as that may sound, and Steph Curry's still playing well, all-star starter. But I think for Golden State, I think it would be better for them to just develop some guys. They could make a move, but I don't think they need to give up, gut their future for one player, especially if that player is about around the same age as Steph and Draymond. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, again, for KD, like, I don't want to say it doesn't make any sense for KD, but still, like, you still have to think about that as well. Mm-hmm. Mavericks make more sense to me, right? Because Kyrie's 32, AD's 32. I mean, that's just to even think about that is really wild, right? I mean, that's not even fair. I don't think the NBA would. The NBA, Adam Silver, I mean, he would probably be like, relax, guys. I just got AD. I mean, it's. I'm sure it's happened before.
That would be
for
crazy.
Phoenix, but it's the reason why it's a discussion for me is because Phoenix is. I don't see the direction of the Phoenix Suns. I really don't see it.
Well, see, that's what I want to ask you
they
now.
Lost to the Trailblazers, and I know the Trailblazers have been playing pretty well the last few games. I think they're like 8-1 in their last 9 games, but I mean, that still shouldn't be a team you should be losing to when all those guys are out there. It doesn't make any sense.
My question to you is, if KD is up for trade and he's interested in it too, if he's traded and you get Kuminga, you get Wiggins, which I'm cool with Wiggins for sure, and Kuminga's coming into it. If you're Devin Booker, do you think, well, maybe I want to request a trade and get out of here too, because this is going to be a setback? We were trying to win a championship, and now we're rebuilding because we lost Kevin Durant, which we gave up a lot to get. Or do you think he's happy with it?
No, of course. Yeah. If KD gets traded, I mean, that to me, that'd be the beginning of the end for Phoenix. Yes. I mean, you might as well just. And that's something we've never seen. That's something we really never seen before, right? Like a team get rid of their best players back to back like that. But from what we're seeing on the court, it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. To the point where Beal's coming off the bench, and it's not even like he's 37 or anything like that. Like he's still a starter in this league. He's a starter on every other team. So the fact that he's coming off the bench on the team he went to, and the goal was to be a starter, that's not great. That's not great. It's their offenses take turn basketball, and it's good, and they're gonna win games because they're both efficient at taking turns and scoring the basketball. But there's no real system. They're both not all the way committed defensively as a duo. I'm talking about Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Mm-hmm. Because if that was the case, then they should win more games. They shouldn't be losing to the Portland Trailblazers. Mm-hmm. In Phoenix, in Portland, doesn't matter, especially at this time of the season. You have to win these games. They know how competitive the West is. They've been playing in the West their whole career pretty much. Mm-hmm. Booker his whole career, right? So to me, this experiment is not working. And the longer you keep it going, the value goes down too. Mm-hmm. Because if they continue to lose together, those trade negotiations are a little bit different. You know what I mean? And you get risk injury. A lot of things can happen. Now, I just feel like I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel for the Phoenix Suns. I really don't. I'm going to be honest. Just don't how they play. I thought they'd be much better.
And of course, Devin Booker just became the leading scorer in franchise history. And of course, the owner, Matt, I can't remember his last name, Ishbia, put out a tweet saying, "Congratulations, Devin Booker, for becoming the all-time leading scorer in Phoenix history. Can't wait to see how you do for years to come here in Phoenix." So
Right.
some people are saying that shutting down trade rumors for Booker, but at the same time, is it trying to keep Booker happy and let him know that you're committed to him so he doesn't request that trade? So who knows? It's one of those things like we're trying to predict, but we have no idea.
We have no idea. The Mavericks had posted like Luka coming out of I think a lowrider with and then like a cowboy outfit.
Yes,
like, the day
Cowboy
before,
Day.
and they trade him the next. So it's like that tweet means nothing to me.
Yes.
That tweet means
So I
nothing
mean,
to me.
I think we agree the Phoenix are going to make a move by deadline. We just don't know what 3-player. It looks like Bill is the option that they're trying, but some people may make a move for Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant is the one that moves, where do you think he goes?
Wow.
Because it's a chance. And I think it's odd that he's doubtful for tomorrow's game because of an ankle sprain.
Man. I think a wild card to me could be the Grizzlies.
Oh, wow.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing excellent. I got to give him his credit. You know, we've criticized him on the show at times. I feel like he should have been playing higher, better. And he's definitely living up to that. He's 37 the other night. Pairing him up with KD and Ja, Edie. I mean, yeah, that could be a wild card. They're saying Houston. I don't think Houston's going to make any moves. They're second in the West. That doesn't make any sense to make a big splash like that.
Technically, the Grizzlies just passed them. They're in second place. The Rockets are in third.
Right. Rockets lost. Right, exactly. Grizzlies got the dub. That's right. So still, yeah, in the top three, right? And this is with them. This is their first year winning together. So why would you got the team like that? That's terrible front office decision making. So I don't see Houston. I'll say my wild card is Memphis. Then I'll say Dallas just sounds overpowered, bro. That just sounds so overpowered to me. Say Golden State, Memphis.
Okay. I'm going to name this one. That's my out of nowhere one. But they have assets as far as players that have developed, and they're kind of full of on a depth here. Do you think the Magic could make a move here?
Wow. I'm asking for Banchero. I'm asking for Banchero or Franz Wagner.
Fair, but
I'm asking for one of those two. There's no way you could keep both guys and get KD. No way. If you're Phoenix, you might as well just relocate. If Orlando's able to get KD with Franz and Banchero, it's insane. So I'm asking for one of those guys for Orlando. It's a nice wild card team, but just know.
One of those.
Of course. That's not even a discussion.
But I think it's fair, too, because, KD is obviously going to be an upgrade. But the longevity is the issue there, because those two guys are the same age range there.
I don't think Orlando does anything because they've been hurt for so long. So they haven't even been able to see what that team collectively together has looked like, and they've been able to win some games when Franz and Banchero are back. So anything is possible as we've seen, and you never know. But I'd be shocked if Orlando did anything. Atlanta. I think they're gonna. I think to me, they've always been a team that they could make a move. They just never have. But now they got Risa Shear and Jalen Johnson. I mean, that their timeline kind of still aligns with Trae Young. Trae Young is still like 24, 25. He's been in the league for so long. He's still young. So,
do the Cavaliers have a shot? Trade either Jarrett, one of the bigs.
They're 40-9. I don't think they need to make any type of moves.
I don't either, but
you don't make any moves if you're 40-9. That's team building malpractice.
I mean, I do think Miami could possibly make a push for Kevin Durant.
What does that trade look like?
Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
And I mean, was it Jaquez?
Most likely. Yep. Yeah. Definitely gonna be
And,
in
some picks? Because
nah,
Jaquez,
how many picks?
I give you a second rounder. I mean, that's
Second rounder.
it. Okay, definitely would be one first round in that, maybe another second round. But I mean, Jaquez, basically, if I'm saying his name right, I don't think I am. He had a great rookie year. I don't feel like he's had as good as a second year.
Right.
So it's okay, and maybe going to Phoenix gives him that better chance of coming to his own. He goes with Jimmy Butler, so he knows him. I mean, if I'm Miami, I might be okay with that because whoever we pick is going to be good in the draft.
Yeah, because you trust the coaching. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's Miami. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. But to me, I feel like Jimmy wants to play alongside KD. I don't think he wants to go to Phoenix and just team up with Devin Booker. I don't know what his true. Maybe that's a motive. I don't know, but
why Phoenix?
Yeah, looking at Luka Doncic in a Lakers fleece just now was crazy. Side note, that was crazy just now. Seeing Luka Doncic in that. Wow. Brandon Ingram, what do you think about BI?
That's what I was going to say. We've not even mentioned any players from the Pelicans. I'm glad you brought it up, but I figured we'd get there. But Zion's even in conversations now, apparently. But
yeah, you believe that?
If I
can't play back-to-backs at 22, 23.
If I'm in 14th place and I'm supposed to be, good, yeah. I mean, if I'm Pelicans, I'm trying to get all my picks. Let's just clean house and do something because we have Zion, who's supposed to be a generational player that we talked about earlier. BI, who was most improved player and has been played solid since being at the Pelicans. Some of the other guys that we talked about in episodes before that are coming up, it's got you nowhere. If you can't be better than the Trailblazers, trade some people and reboot because you got a good young group. It's just Zion's not there. He's a liability. Availability is the most important thing, and that's not him. So, yeah, if there's a team that would give me a couple first-round picks for him, I think it's time to part ways. If Luka can be traded, it's time for Zion to be traded.
Yeah, I don't. The Pelicans, they're one of the more confusing teams in the league. I would say I did have a lot of faith in them at one point in terms of direction, but based on the things I've seen from Zion and then the team as well, just not rocking with it as much. But I think they should move from Ingram. It definitely makes the most sense to me. I think we're talking about KD. I think BI would probably be someone that'd be moved. The probability is much higher, and he could be someone that could be where even though it's not KD, right? But it's still the same archetype, younger, durability issues, but when healthy, it's there when he wants to, at the right location, right team, right spot. Where do you see some spots for BI?
Well, again, I think the Warriors are going to be one of these teams that we kind of mentioned with everyone that's a small forward position because that's kind of one thing that they need to improve on.
That's a nice trade. That's a nice trade.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to give up Kuminga and probably Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just Kuminga maybe.
Because, if you got some picks, possibly could do Kuminga.
Yeah, just Kuminga and some picks because you got Trey Murphy there, and you want Trey Murphy to develop. And I think if he could stay healthy and really get some games consecutively together, hopefully with Zion, he has the talent to be a really, really good player, man. He has the vertical, the floor spacing, could put the ball on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're kind of leading towards building around him as well. so they may not want Wiggins. So if they're able to keep Wiggins with BI, Steph, Draymond, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So, if you think about it, we talked about earlier, the Spurs are at the 12th seed and the Kings are at the 11th seed. Both teams made moves that we think moves them in the play-in games. So if the Warriors don't make a move, I think they may be out of the play-in. So I think this is putting a little more pressure on them that they have to make a move. So, I mean, it's either going to be Butler, it's going to be KD, or it's going to be BI, basically. But another team, as far as if I go with East Coast, I could see Atlanta possibly making that move as well. Maybe even the Bulls, but I don't know why they would. But the Bulls have room now. They just got rid of LaVine, but
I don't know what Chicago's doing, bro. Like we said earlier, I don't know what they're doing over there. But
so I'm gonna say Atlanta. I'll throw Miami in with this too because Butler is somewhere, so we're making a move. I'm gonna say Atlanta, Miami, and the Warriors.
I'm gonna say Memphis also for BI. Golden State. Wild card, Detroit.
Okay.
Cade and BI. Jalen Duren. Ivy when he comes back from the ACL.
That'd be nice.
That's tough. That's tough.
Are the Clippers going to make any kind of move?
Their move is getting Kawhi back.
Okay, that's fair.
They're top five in the West without him. You get him back. I mean, you would hope you stay right there or get better. So that's the move. Norman Powell's been playing great. You can't move him. Zubac's playing well. I mean, they have good players on the team already. So I don't think they need to make any moves.
I'm with you.
Golden State for sure. Definitely. So we agree with that.
Yeah, I really think. I mean, we've not mentioned the Timberwolves, but they may need to make a move. I don't know what they can really move, and I think Rob Dillingham is really starting to show as a rookie that he is a scorer, and they're starting to play him a little more.
Yeah,
someone that they could pair up with. I mean, really would need more of a 3 or 4. Could BI go to Minnesota?
It's interesting.
Wherever he goes,
it would need to be the 3-team deal because somebody, Randall would have to be moved. Somebody had to be moved in that deal. Because if you believe in Nas Reed to be your 4 for the future, right? Your power forward for the future. Gobert's your 5.
Gobert's the 5, of course.
Yes, Ant-Man, BI, and you move on from Randall. Like Randall's not going to go to the Pelicans. Like it's not happening.
No.
So and you're going to need a 3rd team in there, and that's not out of the realm. But if you get another team, make the money match, make the fit match, but for all parties, it's possible. We've seen it. Minnesota, they could be in that mix too.
As far as
they definitely need another score. They could use another score. I agree.
Yeah. Because as far as the West is, let's break it down this way real quick if you don't care. The Thunder's not making a move, right? They're number 1. Why would you make a move when you're 39-9?
Right.
The Grizzlies, you're mentioning a couple of these deals, could possibly make a move. I understand it. I get it. I don't think they're going to make too big of a noise or at least lose too much to make a move because they're playing well. Rockets have the players and the picks that they could make a move, but why would you make a move when you're playing so well in 3rd in the West and your players are developing? So I don't really think Rockets going to make too much of a move. The Nuggets probably need to make a move, but what could they do? I mean, they could use a small forward or even a shooting guard or a point guard, I guess.
Like off the bench. We got a small forward, Michael Porter Jr.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, they can use maybe another. They can use another bench player, maybe.
So it's not a BI. It's not a big player, right?
Yeah. BI wouldn't make sense.
Right. So the Lakers, they may make a move.
I mean, listen, they're up 62-39 on the Clippers with Harden and Kawhi out there. So
wow.
no Luka. Maybe not. Maybe
Wow.
not. They got Vanderbilt, Finney Smith, Reeves, shout out Shake Milton, Hachimura, Vanderbilt, and Dorian Finney Smith. I mean, that's 6'7". You got 3 6'7" guys that can space. Well, Vanderbilt's not a floor spacer, but he's versatile.
Right.
And then the 2 other guys can space the floor, especially Finney Smith and
So that brings us to the Clippers at 6, which their trade is they actually get their player.
Right.
7, we got Timberwolves.
Yeah,
so I mean,
in the mix. Yeah, if you're a playing team, you should be in the mix to make a move. If you,
yes.
11, like you said, if 11 and 12 make a move, 7 through 10, it's like, what's up?
Yes, because they're about to get past. So that's where I'm kind of going this way. So the Timberwolves possibly can make a move. The Suns are at 8th. They're making a move. We just don't know which way they're going to rebuild or try to improve. The Mavericks are at 9. They obviously made the move, and I don't think they're done, but I don't think there's any spotlight. I don't think they go for BI. I think they go for more fill-in roles from here. The Warriors are 10. So, I mean, to me, it's got to be Timberwolves, Suns, Mavericks, or Warriors that are making that BI move, the even Bradley Beal or Jimmy Butler move. Now,
I think Dallas made their move, right? Getting AD.
Right.
So one
but
out
I think
one
they
out of
make
the 4.
Right.
Yeah, they might be right. Yeah.
Right. Okay, East Coast. Cavaliers 40-9. They ain't doing nothing. Celtics 35-15. Obviously, they're not going to do anything. They have a solid team. The Knicks 33-17. Do you think they could make a move of anything?
You know, we don't. The money is going to be tough from a salary cap perspective. We really don't have a lot of options there. Getting Mitch Robinson back, that's the move. Get defensive and rebounding.
Okay, Pacers at 4.
Last week. Pacers at 4, sure. I feel like they can always use another defender. You can see them doing what? Getting like BI?
I'm making a move. I just don't know how blockbuster it may be, but
right. Hey, listen, they went out there and got Siakam, so no fear. So they're not against making moves, which is good for a small market team. That's good. Like if you're a small market team and you're scared, just relocate, like or hire somebody that's not scared. Like,
so 5, we got the Bucks. There's rumors that Chris Middleton may be on a move to try to upgrade. Yeah,
they're saying Kuzma. That to me, that doesn't make any sense. Kuzma doesn't play any defense, and even if you look at, and even if you look at Middleton, like he's not the same player he was when they won the championship because of injuries and things like that. But he would still have a better defensive mindset.
Yes.
So I don't know. The rumors about him and Kuzma because the money matches. Kuzma turned down to go to Dallas. He'd be in Dallas right now. Be the starting power forward for the Mavericks. That's not what he wants to do, and that's cool. That's his career. Yep. He's writing his own story. You want to play with the Wizards, drop 25, cool out. Great. He's still young enough to where he still has value. A team will still pick him up. He still has that type of value. Is Milwaukee a great fit? I don't think so. I mean, they're 0-4 in their last 4 games, and they've given up 132 points in those 4 games. So getting a wing that can't defend, I don't think is the right answer.
Could it be a Chris Middleton for BI trade?
Chris Middleton for BI. There needs to be much more work in that deal. Especially if you're the Pelicans.
Yes. But I mean,
I can see McCollum getting moved.
Yes.
Definitely could see McCollum getting moved. If I'm him, I mean, I don't know. I don't know I don't know what these guys' motives are. A lot of people don't want to win a championship, bro. A lot of dudes just want to hoop. Yeah, a lot of dudes just want to hoop. So. Okay.
Number 6, we got Miami. Obviously, Jimmy Butler is trying to be moved. We don't know what's going on there. 7 is the Pistons, which you mentioned possibly a dark horse for somebody. I can't remember who it was. Ingram. Okay. They possibly at that play-in. So, yes, I can see them making a move. The Magic is at 8. They've kind of fallen back, but it's due to injuries. Could they give up some of their players to try to say this is where we're actually going? Atlanta is at 9. I think they're going to make a move. I just don't know what form of fashion, but I think it's their time if they're going to actually try with Trae Young. Go ahead and get you a small forward here because they're out there. Let's be honest. Small forwards are on the table to be traded here.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there are a few.
And number 10, we got the Bulls. I think they're going to be falling out of the play-in.
Exactly.
So I don't think they make a move unless they're just blowing it up. 76ers at 11. Would B.I. be cheaper than Jimmy Butler?
No, because he probably get more years.
Okay. And is PG different than B.I.? Like, is that going down? You don't want to do a lateral move. You want to –
Yeah, that's a lateral move to me. Yeah,
do the Raptors make a move?
There've been talks about Toronto making a move. Yeah. I don't know what that looks like. They already have 2 young perimeter forwards.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting to see. Philadelphia, they just got him. You know, their move is getting Embiid back, right? So they're going to be in the play-in.
Number 13 is the Nets. Do you think they make a move?
If they make a move, it's trading Cam Johnson.
Okay.
You know, maybe he's up there as one of those top small forwards on the market, and he'd probably be high impact, least expensive contract. So I mean, he might be moved first. You know what I mean? Just off that, right? So yeah. I don't know. I think it's like 28, so it works. And Bulls, Vucevic. Does Vucevic get moved? They would talk. I mean, I don't know how true this. I don't know how true that is. Lakers, like it makes absolutely no sense.
No, that's not a 5 that you need.
It's not a 5 off the bench, maybe, but not starting. I don't think so. I don't think that works with. I mean, he's a floor spacing 5, and you got LeBron, and you could do the 1-4 flat. It could work, but I think they need a more traditional rebounding center. Do the dirty work, block shots, get offensive rebounds, protect the paint, communicate on defense, run the floor, good hands, not stone hands. That's what they need. So I don't think they go after Vucevic. I don't know what's going to happen to Vucevic. I think Vucevic, he did sign an extension though, so I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. And then lastly, before we go to last topic, Lonzo Ball, Charlotte, just make the call. Just make the call. Just I don't know how true that report is about him. The Bulls still wanting to keep him. That could be true. I don't know, but if not, if I'm the Hornets, it's like you got the Ball brothers. People will show up to the game. At this point, that should be what matters for the Hornets owner. Jordan gave you out his team with young talent, but no leadership. As special as LaMelo is, like he's not. I don't think he's a leader yet. Because you look at the other young guys on the team that came after him, not great. But what happened to Book Night? I don't even know what happened to him, bro. Like, it's crazy. He was cooking up at UConn and then just I don't know. So they need they need something. They need a leader like Ball. Like Lonzo can stay healthy and be out there. I think that's a perfect fit. Perfect fit. What is Charlotte? What's up? They should make that move today.
What about distance with it though?
For Lonzo?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I think Lonzo still wants to start. And I don't see how that long term, I don't see how that would work. Maybe a short term, like just for this season, yeah. But do you want to lose a lot of compensation for half a season and then lose a guy? So that's why I just feel like for me, if it's a buyout potential, which I mean, unless I'm getting a significant amount in that buyout, me personally would never do. But
could Cade play the shooting guard?
No, you can't take the basketball out of Cade's hand. It's his team. He already has. He's a similar player archetype to Lonzo, just a better scorer. Cade is a better scorer, a better finisher. But yeah, Hornets.
They need to make it happen. We need the dad bag like that.
Yeah, he's at the games. He's there. He'd be at the games.
Yeah,
yeah.
Need the shoe brand back.
I truly believe we will see. We will see all three of them in the A. I believe that. We get 2 out of 3, and if that's special, they'll bring in Jello for sure. Why not? I mean, it's just like they're like 12 and like 12 and 37, bro. Like, why not? All right. NBA live coverage. Let's go into that. Look at the schedule. What's going on in the NBA?
Of course, the Bulls just beat Miami.
Wow.
133 to 124.
133 to 124. Since you talked about that one, let's just go to that one first. Let's see here. Oh, their rookie had a career high with 24. Uh-oh. Maybe they do have a plan. Uh-oh. Maybe they do have a plan. Buzelis. Matas Buzelis. Okay, 4 for 4 from 3.
He was 100%.
I see this. Yeah. Wow. Okay. 4 personal fouls. You got to clean that up, but that's good, though. That's good.
24 points, 31 minutes. Only 3 rebounds, but that's okay.
No, that's okay. He's going to be in the slam dunk contest. He got some ups. You got some ups. Okay. This is good. Kobe White. That's like Kobe's. You could buck 20. Automatic. You could buck Giddey with 24. Ayo Dosumu. Vucevic just 12 points, 12 and 10. I think he knows something. Hero had 23. Jovic had 20. Bam, 23. We'll watch the highlights back. I gotta watch the highlights back. They probably folded in a quarter. Let's look at some of these other games. Sixers and the Mavericks, close game. Celtics get the dub against the Cavaliers. Big dub. Let's see what happened with that. Porzingis 19. Tatum 22. Derek White 20. Yeah. Donovan Mitchell had 31 and Garland had 25. Sheesh. Not a great night for Mobley. 7 points. That's what it is. You see, like we've been saying, he's the guy. Take him to the next level. Big win by the Celtics. They just feel even though the Cavs have the better record, they're just confident against the team. They beat them last year in the playoffs, so they're not afraid to go in Cleveland and get a win. They did it already. Nets get a shocking win. Rockets 0-2 in New York and NYC.
Uh-oh.
Crazy. Wow. Şengün's first game back. He had 24 and 20 with an L. That's tough, man. 34 and 20 with an L. 24 and 20. Let's see what happened here. Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's not playing. Yeah. Wow, that's a shocker. And we got the Knicks. Knicks and the Raptors. That was a close game. Karl Anthony Towns had a 20-20 game. Brunson had some big shots in the fourth. Halftime coverage, Battle LA. You see this score, man?
Goodness.
This is crazy. Wow. They're fifth in the West right now. This will be a big dub. Let's go to the standings before we get out of here. Power rankings. We appreciate everybody that's here with us in the stream, at the live stream. Thank you guys. So this was posted yesterday. Number one, Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, Cavs, Celtics, and the Grizzlies. Thoughts?
My first thoughts is I need to apologize to the Grizzlies. I feel like I did not think they would be playing this well, but I mean, to be top 5 right now, I mean they're playing great. That's all I can say. So I apologize to you, the Memphis fans. I did not think that you all would be playing this well this year. I knew y'all coming back, y'all would play better than what you were last year, but I just thought some rust would be with there, and I don't really feel like there was much rust. Of course, he came back at the end of last season, but so I'm amazed. That's on me. Of course, Edie's playing great. He's a good center that y'all picked up. I think Celtics and Cavs should switch here, even though they have the better record. But when you beat the team, how do you not move up? I would even possibly, you may not like me on this one, but I'd probably even put Boston above Houston because they have proved it. So they even have the better record looking at it on here too. So I would go OKC, Boston, Houston, Cleveland, and I guess Memphis on this here.
So yeah, this was updated top 5, even before today or in yesterday's game. I would have the Knicks top 5. I mean, we're 9-1 in our last 10 games.
You got the Knicks in here, don't you?
Of course. Of course. I mean, we defeated the Grizzlies. We clapped the Grizzlies. We defeated the Rockets. We got a win against the Kings. Put up 140. Beat the Nuggets. Like, we beat 3 of the best teams in the West in a time frame of 5 days. We should definitely be in there in the top 5.
So what's your order?
OKC, Boston, Cleveland, Knicks, Grizzlies.
So you don't have the Rockets in there? Okay.
I mean, they're 0-2 right now. 0-2 right now. Just lost to the Knicks. Memphis got a big dub against the had a big dub yesterday. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. had 37. So that'll be my updated power rankings for the NBA. LeBron got 21, 5, and 3 in the first half against the Clippers. I'm telling you. Anything is possible when they get to the playoffs with him and Luka. You have no idea. We don't have no idea what's going to happen. No idea what's going to happen, bro. It's different.
Hold up. I don't know if this is – I doubt if this is true, but on Twitter it says – and I don't know who this guy is, but it just says breaking news, 3-team trade. Durant to Warriors, Butler to the Suns, Wiggins to the Heat.
Yeah, who is the person?
His name is – I would say it's probably fake. It says he's the CEO and founder of a sports network that he has. No. But I've not seen anything on that.
Yeah,
so if you guys, while we've been live here, could say within the hour that he posted that, let us know because I doubt if that's true. I think that would already be making headlines on something else.
Yeah, no, that's definitely cap. That's definitely cap.
That's the worst thing about Twitter or X.
No, you just got to know the right sources. The right sources, like I said, Mark Stein, Chris Haynes, pretty good. Obviously, Shams. Yeah, I mean, to me, those are probably the top 3. Windhorse, He doesn't really break news though. But he does get that. He does have
the Nets.
connections.
This is NBA on ESPN on Twitter. Apparently, the Nets scored 6 points in 6 seconds to beat the Rockets tonight.
Wow. Yeah, they didn't close well yesterday either against the Knicks. That's something they have to fix, especially in the playoffs. You got to be able to close games. Got to close those games. That's how you lose series. You up the whole game. Come fourth quarter, if you're not locked in and lose, you're gonna be tight. Then you lose a series like 4-2. In 2 of those games, you should have got a dub. You'll be upset. That's a long summer.
Now, here is one NBA Central. It says Miami was willing to trade Jimmy Butler for Andrew Wiggins and draft picks before Butler shut it down. This was apparently yesterday. So they said that they said they'll see if they can pick it up before Thursday to get that done deal. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, who knows? We'll definitely be locked in.
I don't think Butler fits Warriors culture.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's a winning player, so it's tough. He does have his own personality. I don't know if that'll be him and Draymond. It could work though. I mean, they could have the same personality. I don't know. I feel like they should go for someone like BI, someone that's younger that can still help them right now, and then you could build around if he stays healthy. Or if it doesn't work, you can still move him and get something back. True. That makes the most sense.
All right. Well, I believe that's got us wrapped for the show, don't you?
That's everything. That's everything. Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Especially the 100 that are live with us right now after being on here for over 2 hours, man. We appreciate you guys blowing up the Twitter for us. Give us the follows on there, of course. And then obviously go check our YouTube page out. It's at youtube.com/MNC @MNC Hoops. That way you can see all of our past videos. It's all right there in one location. Hit that subscribe button too. Check us out on Facebook as well. And guys, we appreciate it. CJ, where can we find you at?
From your X at CJames9_. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody on X that's watching us, appreciate it. Thank you.
So you can find me MDLawson00 on X, on Instagram, pretty much on anything. We do appreciate that. Guys, and thanks for hanging out with us. Until next week, we'll have you some trades that we can break and talk with you and dissect. Maybe give grades. I don't really get into whole grades. It's just I'd rather be this team. But guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next week, you all have a great one.
Take care. Have a good week, guys.